Alright everyone, before I begin the review, I gotta say, this is probably one of the first times ever that I've actually managed to read an entire Goosebump book within the month. And completely stay within the month too. And being the fact that we're in October and read a book like this for Halloween, it's appropriate for it though. So I'm very proud of myself for that, and and I had a very good time reading this book too, actually, as well. What I love about Headless Halloween from the 2000 series, and I really wish that there had been more reprints from the 2000 series than we actually got. You know, like Cry of the Cat, um, the one with the evil twin, and when it comes to Earth Geeks Go Home and stuff like that. Even Slappy's Nightmare. I wish we had that reprint as well too. That deserved one as well. But what I like about Headless Halloween is that it takes our main character, Brandon, who is a bit of a prick when it comes to pulling pranks on people, even if it's his best friends and his sister. And he's so much into playing pranks that I guess Twisted Fate kind of just transcends him into a alternate universe, another dimension in a sense. And it kind of puts him in like the It's a Wonderful Life scenario, except he's trying to reclaim his body instead of getting his wings, because let's be honest, this kid's no angel. So he's a bit of a prankster, you know, doing dumb crap to his friends and sister and stuff too. And then things really take a turn for the worse for him when he's told not to venture out over a part of the area towards a ravine, which if he does, bad things will happen. And of all people to tell him that, his sister's the one that tells him about this stuff. So let it be a lesson to you guys. Always listen to your siblings, because if you don't, you're going to end up like Brendan and end up in another alternate universe, and you have to pretty much eat donuts filled with worms. It's disgusting. So, speaking about that part, he kind of gets everything kind of thrown back to him as comeuppance for all the stuff that he's done. And when things really take their turn too far for him, he just tries to split, but it's not that easy though. So the thing is that he's trying to now strike a deal in order to get back into reality and get back to his body and stuff, and happen to do actual good deeds as well too, in order for him to do so. It's kind of like the same thing with Slappy's Nightmare, where that book Slappy had to do 3 good deeds, otherwise he was going to be forced to go sleep permanently. So in this case, it's kind of like these two books kind of work together in the same sense. I kind of figured it out when I started to reread this book, as well as Slappy's Nightmare as well too. But as unfortunate luck would have it, turns out that even though he managed to do his good deeds, it was all just still a prank put on him. And you think at some point that the character would pretty much learn from his mistakes, but doesn't really actually do so, as you see full well that he decides to make the most of his bad situation where he's at, and decide to just scare people still. You know, so I guess if you're going to be in another place where you have no chance to return, you might as well just, you know, do what you gotta do and scare who you gotta scare. And that's how it is, guys. Reading this book, it has like a good atmosphere when it comes to when Brandon comes into the other world and he is in a town, and it's just totally dark and silent and pretty much almost near, I don't want to say forbidden. It's kind of like more just very too quiet in there. And you know what to say about things being too quiet. You get a very bad feeling about yourself when it comes to that. And then when we get to the house where the party's being thrown at, it really grated me to have to read those passages and those chapters. I think it was chapter 12 or 13 when he had to do all these grotesque things, like he was trying to get donuts and stuff when he was hungry, and there was one that was filled with worms, like I aforementioned, and then he had to I think Bob for apples, but it was more like just Bob for other disgusting stuff I don't want to think back to. And then snakes. Oh god, I hate snakes with all my freaking heart. I really do. And I understand that he had to learn his lesson about how to be more respectful to people and doing to others you have them doing to you. But God's sakes, man, there's gotta be a better way to do it than that. But when you have Stein, I guess that Stein wrote this story here, it's anything but when it comes to horror stories involving children. Get them to learn a lesson the hard way. So guys, with that review, I give the book still a good grade. I just wish that the ending could have been a little bit better than it was. Most of the 2000 books actually have pretty solid stories, but when it comes to the ending, it just kind of gets a little bit muddled up by, I guess, like a last minute idea to put something in there at the last second or something, and then makes the whole story seem like it was kind of pointless. But once again, I will still give this book some major props because it is a good story. It's just the ending kind of felt to me like, you know, even though he's unable to get back to where he wants to be at, he still decides to say F it and just go to do what he's been doing back in his reality world. Just scare people. Like he doesn't learn his lesson. You know? But guys, with that, this has been the review. And before I go, I also want to do one important thing too. Hold on one second, guys. Baba, sorry. 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 In other words, what that means is, keep in mind this, guys. You're never too old to dress up and be a little silly every once in a while. And because of the fact we only have just once a year to do that, you might as well just go make the most of it. And we're probably too old to trick or treat by this point. I know some of us probably are. You know, I don't know, on my channel that may be younger or older in a sense, or middle of the road, I guess. But once in a while, it's good to just go ahead and just be funny and make the most of it. And then that's all, guys. So guys, with that being said, I wish you all a very happy Halloween. Be very safe out there. If you get some candy and stuff, good eats. And until then, guys, take care and be safe. And once again, you're never too old to be a little silly. Take care, my peeps. Oh guys, one thing before I go. I forgot to mention about the guard dogs that were in the story too. Imagine yourself walking at night, whether you're going to work in the morning or you're coming back from a party late at night and stuff, or whatever, and you happen to walk across guard dogs in the yard. Now, you don't mean to provoke them, but because of the fact that they're trained to just sniff out whatever they think may be threatening to them, it's really just, get your heels in motion or you're going to get your ass bit. Yeah, it's a very scary scenario to think about, though, when you think of it, though. But aside from not wanting to get my ass bit by those dogs, though, I don't really agree with giving the dogs chocolate, because there is a chapter in the book where Brandon actually gives the dogs chocolate. I don't understand why this series has such a problem with understanding that dogs cannot take in chocolate. They just can't, because they will die if they ingest it. But I don't know. It's a very bad message to send to, well, it's really made based for kids though, but really to anyone that's not too sure about that. But anyway, just wanted to throw it in there, guys, because I couldn't get that in there in the main review, and I didn't want to start the whole thing over and mess things up for you guys either for it. But anyway, this has been the review for Headless Halloween, and I hope that you enjoyed the read as well too, and I hope that you enjoyed my little tidbit of me wearing my Bulbasaur hat in there as well. Until then, guys, take care. Happy Halloween. Have a very safe one out there, and see you next time, guys. Oh, also, by the way, I'm going to do the read of Scariest Book Ever in the first week of November. Even though I said I was going to do it November 12th, I just want to get a little, caught up with it, so you can start hearing the chapters read too and not wait too long for it. But until then, guys, take care, and I'll see you real soon.